The purpose of the Patient-Centered Medical Home program is to reinvigorate primary care and achieve the triple aim. If you look on the right side of the screen, you can see where the triple aim seeks to improve the health of the population, enhance patient experience, and reduce or control the cost of care. Whereas on the left side, in our current state, both the patient has a difficult time navigating the system, while the primary care physician is reimbursed at a lower rate, and many of the services needed to coordinate care are not reimbursed services. On the right-hand side, the Patient-Centered Medical Home will increase the PCP's revenue and take-home pay, improve practice processes, and empower the PCP to manage the quality of care. The Patient-Centered Medical Home has three core elements to the design. First is the commitment to transform the system. Payers will commit to providers to put the resources necessary to coordinate care. And second, providers will enroll into the PCMH. It's a voluntary basis, and those providers are then committing to meeting the milestones that will go through enrollment. The second point is the support to providers. First of all, giving the providers a roadmap to change. Those are what all of the process metrics and activity metrics are about. Second, financial support in the form of per member per month payments for care coordination. Also, Arkansas Medicaid has put out an RFQ for vendors to assist practices in both practice transformation and care coordination. Those resources are optional. And then finally, to provide data to practices in the form of quarterly reports. And last, but the most important part of the model, is incentives for quality and cost. First, tracking quality metrics to ensure appropriate provision of care. And then last, and most importantly, shared savings incentive payments to PCPs based on total cost of care management. What are the key elements of the Patient-Centered Medical Home model? First, as we said, the commitment to the Patient-Centered Medical Home. This slide goes through some of the participation requirements. To enroll to receive the practice support payments for care coordination, a practice must be part of the Connect Care program. When I say Connect Care program, I'm referring to the current primary care case management program in which a practitioner has a caseload of patients. Those caseloads of patients must be at least 100 beneficiaries at the practice level. Now, this is at the practice level, not at the PCP level. So a practice that had 300 beneficiaries, or 100 beneficiaries per each physician, would meet that 300 requirement. The second requirement related to enrollment is to achieve or to be eligible to receive shared savings incentive payments. A practice must have a minimum of 5,000 Medicaid-attributed beneficiaries for at least 6 months during the performance period. First of all, practices can do this as a standalone practice, so if the practice is large enough. Practices may also voluntarily pool. In the first year of the program, the voluntarily pooling option is limited to a maximum of 2 practices. In 2015, we'll increase that to where practices can pool beyond 2. The third option is the statewide default pool, and that will also be launched in 2015. So if a practice does not meet the standalone, has not voluntarily pooled with another practice, the practice would be in the statewide default pool. Providers can then receive support to invest in improvements as well as incentives to improve quality of care and cost of care. The first is the practice support, which we've gone through, both in the form of the care coordination payments and also provision of practice transformation services if the practice choose to use this. And second, the shared savings. We're going to focus on improving quality of care and incentivize practices to effectively manage growth and costs. Let's talk about what practice support payments mean. We've talked about care coordination payments, and I've used the term per member per month or per beneficiary per month. This is based on your caseload, and that payment, though we've referenced an average of $4 per member per month, that is a risk-adjusted payment. It can go anywhere from $1 for the lowest risk patient to $30 for the highest risk patients. That amount would be averaged across your panel, and that would calculate your per member per month. It's intended to be an ongoing payment for those practices that are successful in meeting all of their required targets and deadlines through the program. Second is the practice transformation component, in which Medicaid will contract directly with a vendor, and if a practice chooses to enter into a contract with that vendor, Medicaid will cover the cost of that. The vendor will be paid a fixed amount, $1 per member per month, to support the practice. This is a short-term option. It's at a maximum of 24 months for a practice. This slide is the list of activities tracked for practice support payments. So this is, again, the framework for transformation. We're trying to explain to practices that we want as many practices to participate on the front end, and that we recognize it's a journey, and just because you're not there today doesn't mean over the course of the program at 24 months you cannot achieve these activities. So if you look on this roadmap, you'll see where there are 3-month, 6-month, 12-month activities. The first is part of your enrollment process. Identify the office leads for both care coordination and practice transformation. And if you'll look at number 4, that's your next milestone, identifying the top 10% of priority patients. Then you can see where we have 6-month milestones, and these milestones will be submitted to us in the form, in completing a form that's available to you online, and we'll have future webinars to assist you on how to access this system. This slide is metrics tracked for practice support payments. So not only do you have the activities that you must undertake that we just went through, but also we want to see these type of process measures to show how well you're performing and that your performance is improving over time. Shared savings will reward eligible entities for performance on quality and cost of care. The practices that are eligible to receive the shared savings payments must provide efficient care or manage the growth of cost. Providers may receive the greater of 2 shared savings incentives if they have not met performance on quality. Again, this model is upside only. When I say that term, people ask often, what does that mean? It means that different from episodes of care, it does not have a negative incentive payment. Therefore, we are trying to manage just the savings portion and calculating the shared savings on that basis. Now we're moving into the shared savings portion of the model. And again, if you remember from early on, I referenced that this is the most important component of the model and where the greatest opportunity for increase of revenue to the primary care practice resides. First, as we mentioned earlier, shared savings eligibility is conditioned upon at least 5,000 beneficiaries for at least 6 months within the practice. The second part is achieving the targets on quality metrics, and of course, you also have to achieve those practice support metrics that we just went through. Once each of those criteria have been met, then practices will receive the greater of two shared savings incentives if they have met performance and quality. First, practices that provide efficient care, they have the opportunity to receive shared savings based on statewide cost thresholds, or practices that manage the growth of costs have the opportunity to share savings on practice-specific benchmark costs. This slide shows the quality metrics tracked for shared savings incentive payments. As I mentioned previously, in order to receive shared savings incentive payments, we will also track quality metrics and the practice performance on those metrics. Here in front of you is the list of those metrics. As you can see, they are preventive care based and care management based. The intent is to not only track performance and improve performance over time, but is to also ensure that care is being provided appropriately and quality metrics are met. We will assess these metrics annually. Each metric is only evaluated if there are at least 25 patients that qualify for the metric. To be eligible for shared savings, entities must meet greater than or equal to 2/3 of the quality metrics, and the quality metrics are likely to evolve over time. I know that was a brief overview. However, you're welcome to send questions to the website or go to the website for more information and send questions to the email address or call the numbers listed. We'll be doing future webinars and in-person information sessions, and please check the website for more information on each of those. Thank you.